Hello, this video is about worry and in particular how to tackle some of the behaviours that we use when we're worrying and find a way to relax and unclench a bit. So, usually when we're worried about something, we reach for one of two activities to kind of get rid of that. One is we try and solve the problem. So I'll either research, so perhaps I'll go on Google, is this symptom something to worry about, that kind of thing. Perhaps I'll ask somebody else, so I'll seek reassurance. Do you think this is going to be okay? Is that person all right with me? Do you think this piece of work is all right? That kind of thing. Or I might check, so I might reread messages I've sent, or I might go over my work over and over again. And what I'm trying to do is convince myself and find an answer. Is this going to be okay? Which in itself becomes exhausting. Because if I do find an answer, somebody says, yeah, this is fine, it only lasts a certain amount of time. So then I'm still left with a bit of anxiety. So then what I reach for is distraction, a way of burying my head in the sand. So that might be scrolling through my phone, it might be online shopping, it might be games, it might be TV, something that's intended to just make me feel nothing for a while, and it works. Other things we use is stuff like booze, something that artificially makes me feel better for a while. Problem with that is I tend not to feel very great about myself afterwards, and in itself that becomes a bit exhausting and a bit draining. So instead, we're talking about, okay, well what if, when you're still left with some worry, if those activities aren't helping in the long term, what do we do instead? Your brain might go to, what, have I just got to sit there for half an hour not thinking anything or just with nothing to distract me? That feels excruciating, I can't face it. Yeah, ultimately it'd be brilliant if you were able to do that. But that might feel a bit unrealistic. What I would say a useful middle ground is looking for activities that feel more important to you. So are they meaningful? Are they something that you actually get something out of? That's the only difference between unhelpful distraction and helpful distraction. Do you like it? And ideally something that's got a bit of a sensory element to it. So taste, smell, touch, something that looks nice. There's another one. Hearing, there we go. That can give you enough to stay in the room. So that's why something like walking can be really good. So walking, your feet are moving, there's enough to kind of keep you a little bit centered in the room a little bit more. Walking can be really good for that. Just being outside, feeling the sun or the wind on you can just help you just be slightly more in the room. My example is bath time. So when I'm doing bath time with the kids, if I sit next to the bath and I just try and concentrate on them when I've got something I'm worried about, it doesn't work. I'm just constantly wrestling with myself. But if I get down on the side of the bath, on my knees, and I put my hands in the water, it's so much easier for me to be there. And by the end of that evening, it's not that my worries have gone totally, but I feel so much better about how I've spent my time. And while I'm there, it's a little bit easier to be present. That's the idea.